Hello and yes, welcome to another video with me, Rockboy680. So today I'm going to be doing another kind of top 10 thing, but I couldn't quite think of 10 albums, so it's going to be a top 9. Double albums, which I think my take on what they could have been if they were a single album. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take I've taken the 9 double albums out there, double vinyl albums, which I'm really familiar with, and basically I'm going to be cutting them in half, saying if they were to be a single album, what songs I would keep on them. I could have easily done a top 10, but the reason I only done 9 is because I had another 2 albums rattling about in my head. I had Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, Genesis, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And actually now I'm thinking about it, Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde. So actually 3 other albums here which I could have included, but I decided not to include them because I'm not as familiar with them, so it would have been an unfair judgment. So anyway, I've got 9 albums here, which double vinyl albums, which have more than... I think I've got more than 15 songs on each these, and basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting them in half and just saying what songs I would like to keep if they were to be a single album. So the albums which are going to be in this, we've got Tommy by The Who. Now, can't remember them all off the top of my head. So we got Tommy by The Who, we got the White Album by the Beatles, Layla by Derek and the Dominoes, ELO, Out the Blue, Fleetwood Mac's Tusk, George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, Pink Floyd's The Wall, Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and The Who's Quadrophenia. And that is the order we're going to go in. So yes, we're going to be starting with Tommy by The Who. So, absolutely magical album this. It tells a story, it's a really interesting album. This album would never work as a single album, because it tells a story. But for the purpose of this video, we're not going to judge it on the lyrics. We're not going to judge it by the story that the album's telling. We're just going to judge it on the songs, purely how good they are, how entertaining they are, and we're just going to pick the best ones here. So anyway, I said that on Tommy we're going to keeps 12 songs on it. I think it's a 24 album track. Really, you can say 19, 20 track, because there's about 5 tracks on here which are less than a minute long. They're just little sketches, little doodles. So anyway, out of all the tracks on here, I know I'm going to be missing a few good ones, so anyway, I've got the tracks here on my notes. So anyway, the tracks on Tommy, which I would like to keep, would be Overture. Really fun, really cool instrumental. 1921, just sets a really good mood to the album. Christmas, always love that song. It's not really a very good Christmas song, but hey, I like it a lot. Cousin Kevin, lyrics are very disturbing, but it's a cool song. The Acid Queen, another kind of disturbing lyric song, but it's really fun. Pinball Wizard, amazing track, amazing. Go to the Mirror, great track. Tommy, Can You Hear Me? I think everyone knows that. That's the theme tune for the album, really. Sally Simpson, another great song. I'm Free, really cool track. We're Not Gonna Take It, a really good closer to the album, really brings the album to an end well. And then one more, Amazing Journey, really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, this album, really, you can't cut it down, because generally the album itself is just, it tells a story. It's such a good album, but if I was to cut it down on tracks and make it a single album, that's the way it would go. And of course, I missed out some great tracks here, like It's a Boy, that's a really good song. What other ones have I missed? Sensation, really good instrumental. I think that one's an instrumental. Yeah, pretty sure it is. So yeah, I've missed a couple good tracks here, but anyway, unfortunately, for the purpose of the video, they couldn't all make the cut. Next one up is going to be the legendary White Album by the Beatles, and 30 tracks, so pretty easy there. We're going to halve that. We're going to do 15 tracks off the album. And the thing is with this album is, there aren't really many sketches. Every song on here is genuinely great, I feel. I even like Revolution 9. Wild Honey Pie is pretty damn good as well. I even like the little sketches on this album. This is a perfect album in my mind. So this was a really difficult one to cut in half. But anyway, I've done it, and here's my 15 tracks off the White Album, which I'd keep. Back in the USSR, amazing rocker from McCartney. Oh Bloody Oh Bloody, just a really fun, energetic song. You can't get rid of that. It's just keeps the album in such a good mood, that song. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, one of the best songs the Beatles ever did, period, so there's no way that one's going. It's probably the best one on the album as well. Fantastic track. Happiness Is a Warm Gun, amazing Lennon one, amazing. Blackbird, my favourite soft song from Paul on the album, because Paul does a lot of soft songs, kind of jazz inspired. But that's definitely my favourite one. It kind of gives a bit of a Yesterday feel. Rocky Raccoon, just amazing song. I love that one. Don't Pass Me By. Yep, I'm going to keep the Ringo one because this is my favourite Ringo track from the Beatles. Birthday, another amazing rocker from Paul. Yeah Blues, another great Lennon one. Just sounds so raw, which is what I like about it. My favourite McCartney rocker ever. This is the most rocking McCartney track ever. Helter Skelter, brilliant. Long, Long, Long. I know a few people might be surprised I put that on here, but I think the vocals on it are just amazing. This is a Harrison number. Revolution 1. Honey Pie, great kind of jazz feeling McCartney track here. Save Your Truffle, the other Harrison track. And Dear Prudence. Just love that song. So, yeah, again, missed a couple really good tracks off, like I Will, nice slow McCartney track again. Always love that song, Glass Onion. I love that track as well. You know, in my mind, this album is perfect as it is. So I wouldn't want to get rid of any of the tracks. But for the purpose of the video, okay. So next one up, we're going to move on to what is probably Eric Clapton's best album. Love Eric Clapton's solo career. I love all his Cream stuff, but this generally probably is his best album. It's going to be Derek and the Dominoes' Layla. So I love this album. This is a really fantastic album. Again, like the Beatles' White Album, it is just flawless, really. So cutting it down is very hard. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So anyway, there's a good 16 tracks on here, so we're going to cut it straight in the middle again, and we're going to go in... No, sorry, there's 14 tracks on here. However, I thought 7, that was still a bit low, so I'm going to bump it up, and we're going to go to 8 tracks. So obviously, the track which... is the two obvious tracks which aren't going to go, so I'll get them out of the way first. Layla, no surprise. Bell Bottom Blues, no surprise. Okay, so the other tracks which I'd keep on this album is the opening track, I Looked Away, great, love it. I Am Yours, fantastic, just sounds so raw, this song. Keep On Growing. I'm surprised this one wasn't more popular, to be honest. That song kind of just sounds like a hit. Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad? It's Too Late. And this is a really nice close to the album. Really slow, lot less heavy than the other tracks on the album. Thorn Tree in the Garden. So, again, love this album. It's great. Same thing as the White Album and Tommy. Same thing as all the albums I'm going to show, really. I wouldn't want to cut any of these down. It's just a fun video idea I've come up with. So, you know... Anyway, next one up is going to be the only double vinyl put out by the Electric Light Orchestra. Very, very popular record, this one. You see it about in record shops all the time. So we're going to cut this in half, and we're going to go in with 9 tracks from the album. This album had 4 pretty popular hits on, so I'm just going to get them 4 out of the way first. Turn to Stone. What can I say about that one? Fantastic. Sweet Talking Woman. Just a classic. I love hearing Jeff sing that one live. Mr. Blue Sky, probably one of the most famous songs on the planet. Just the most fun, light-hearted song. Why do the crows want to make a noise now? Anyway, and Wild West Hero. Just the lyrics for that one is so fun. Just great. Anyway, so the other 5 tracks which I've picked here is going to be Night in the City. Really fun. I love Night in the City and Sweet as the Night, which is one of the other songs I picked. Because Jeff kind of shares the vocals with Beth Bevan, and their vocals just gel so well. And I don't think that them two kind of get enough appreciation of how their vocals blended. You know, really, really good. Then we got Jungle, which I love. It's a short track. It's actually one of the short ones on the album, but I love it. Just so fun. Great. Stepping Out, which Jeff doesn't really like. I'm surprised, because I think it's one of the best ones on the album. Jeff Flynn, of course, has redone it. He sings it like at the Hyde Park concert he done. He re-sung it, and it's like, I don't know why you don't like the original Jeff. I don't know why you don't like the original Jeff, because I don't think it needs changing. But anyway, and Birmingham Blues, great track. Okay, so next one up is going to be by Fleetwood Mac. So this is probably the most anticipated album ever, and probably the biggest letdown ever in music album history. Tusk. So actually this album has grown on me a little bit. because I was never hugely keen on it. You know, since I've heard it, because I've only had this about 3 weeks, being honest. I've always said, you know, in the last 3 weeks, I've always said, yeah, it's a good album, and I kind of stick by that. It is a good album, but it's grown on me a little bit. I don't think I'm ever going to say it's one of my favourite albums, but anyway, so on this album you get 20 tracks, so pretty simple. Again, we're going to cut it right in half with 10. Okay, so we're going to go in with The Ledge, which is second track on the album. I don't know, I feel that the opening track is such a letdown that it makes the second track look a lot better. Then we got Sarah by Stevie Nicks, really good track, probably my favourite on the album if I'm being honest. Then we got Storms, That's All For Everyone, Sisters of the Moon, Angel, another great Stevie Nicks one, close second probably. I Know I'm Not Wrong, Walk a Thin Line, Tusk is more of an instrumental the way I look at it. There are vocals, there are lyrics to the song, but they're not really shown too well. And then Never Forget. So yeah, it's Tusk. I think that's it for that note sheet. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our solo Beatle album. Got All Things Must Pass. Brought down my dirty copy. Why did I do that? Anyway, okay, so we're gonna. I'm not including the apple jam here. I know that I like the apple jam. I really do. But it is more like experimental stuff. You know, like electronic sounds which George Harrison put out just before this album, and like them kind of crappy ones that John was doing. Two Virgins, Life with the Lions, and the Wedding album. But I'm not a big fan on John's, mainly because he's got Yoko screaming down the mic. I actually like George's Apple Jam and electronic sounds. I think they're interesting, so I'll stick up for George's. Anyway, okay, so this album here was kind of easy to do, and when I say that, I don't mean that I dislike the songs which I didn't pick. I mean that the songs which are popular on this album, the songs which I like, are kind of popular for a reason, because all of these songs are really special to me, and I think this is such a overlooked album, because everyone kind of goes, oh, George, it's all about Lennon and McCartney. Honestly, this is the best solo Beatle album, really, really overlooked. So anyway, here's the tracks. Here's the obvious one. Shut up. Bloody crows. My Sweet Lord. Now, what can I not say about that song? That's one of the best songs of all time. And then we got Wah Wah, just a really nice heavy rocker. Isn't It a Pity? Just a fantastic calm tune there. What Is Life? So damn catchy. Behind That Locked Door. Beware of Darkness. The Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. Waiting on You All. And All Things Must Pass. Damn, where can you go wrong with that? Okay. Next one up. Okay, this is the album where I'm not going to lie I struggled with, because I've heard this album several times, so I thought I've got to include this album. It's such a popular album by one of the biggest bands of all time. The wind wants to play up now. Why does everything want to play up when I'm doing my video? Anyway, but I struggled, I'm not going to lie. But I did it. So I'm going to do The Wall by Pink Floyd. So anyway, I've cut this down to 12 tracks. So here we go. Okay. In the Flesh. This song opens the album and sets the mood so well because it sounds so raw. And that's what I really like about it. It really opens up the album well. I mean, it's not the opener, I don't think. I think there's like a short little snippet before it, but it's the opener for most people, I think. Then we got Another Brick in the Wall Part 1. Cool. Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, just a classic track, you know. And we got Mother. I've always loved that song. Mother is actually one of my favourites on the album. Young Lust. Hey You. I just really like the vocal performance on that one. Vera. Comfortable Numb. I did review this album about quite a while back now, good 8 months, and I didn't give that song the credit where it was due, so I'm going to take that back now for those of you who are still mad at me for dismissing that song, and I'm going to say I really like Comfortable Numb. Fantastic track. Then we got The Show Must Go On. In the Flesh. Whew, great track. Run Like Hell and Waiting for the Worms. So yeah, I did struggle picking songs for that one, I'm not going to lie. Okay, I'm going to be honest. And then we've got, I love this guy in the 70s. After the 70s, his 80s stuff is a load of crap, to be honest. But this guy's 70s work is early 70s. I'm going to say from 1970 through to about 77. I pretty much love it all. But this album has always had a special place for me. I just kind of didn't know what to expect when I first played it, because I wasn't a big fan of this guy when I bought this album. This album was so good, it kind of just blew me back off my chair. Like, I was not expecting this. So it's Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And how many songs? We've got this down to 9 tracks here. Even though, okay, so here we go. Even though I think the opening track is a crap opener, and it is. No offense. I mean, I know a lot of people out there like the song, and I do because it did make my list. I love the track. It's a fantastic instrumental, but it is not a good opener. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. It's only my opinion, but I don't think it's a good opener. But Funeral of a Friend is a great instrumental. It is a great track, so it definitely makes my list. Then we got Benny and the Jets, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Grey Seal. I really love that song. Lyrics don't really make much sense, but they're fun. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Again, another track which is kind of silly, but I love it. It's just so good. A real rocker from Elton here. Roy Rogers. Probably, I'm not going to lie, I know a lot of people will probably say, what? But, you know, how can you put this over other songs? But I'm going to say it. Roy Rogers is probably my favourite on the album. I just love the story he tells, the vocal performance. One of Elton's best songs for me. Social Disease. Really cool, really nice closer. Or second last closer. Candle in the Wind. Which I nearly missed out on this list, if I'm being honest. I love the track. I do love the track though. And this song has no title, which again is just a bit of a weird, funny track. But I'm missing some good ones, I know. Sweet Painted Lady. Ballad of Denny Bailey, that's a great track. You know, I'm missing some great tracks, I know. But they're the ones which I would pick. And wow, look at that, we're on to the last album. So it's going to be The Who's Quadrophenia. Now, I had a lot of trouble with this one too, because a lot of the songs are just kind of classic rockers. They all kind of sound similar, which is kind of, if I was to review the album, I'd kind of use that as a downfall, not to give it a 10. Because it's very similar. So it's like, some people are going to be like, how can you say you like that song but not that song? And, you know, that's kind of it with the whole album. It all sounds very similar. Not a bad thing, because the tunes that they're creating here are great. So anyway, we got it down to 9 tracks again. So, first track up, you know, the opener. Why do I keep on saying the opener? It's actually the 4th track. Cut My Hair. Great song, great song. I think it's the only song I picked from side 1. Oh, no, I picked 2. The Punk and the Godfather. Great track. I'm One. Really, really opens up side 2 well, that track. The Dirty Jobs. I've Had Enough. One of the best songs from the year 1973. I think that's when this album came out. It's got to be, isn't it? Anyway, whatever year this album came out, I'm going to say it. This would probably be in my top 10 songs of that year. This is how much I love this song. 5.15. Magical song. You really can't go wrong with it. Sea and Sand, great track. Probably the longest track on the album. It's like, this track ends up being like 7-8 minutes long, but I love it. Dr. Jimmy, and then the last one is Bellboy. So, yeah, and again, I missed quite a few good ones off here, like The Rock, Is It In My Head? Have a great track there. So again, you know, but anyway, I think they're the highlights on the album for me. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I would have liked to have done 10, I guess, but I had brain freeze when I was picking the albums. I was thinking, do I do Lamb Lies Down on Broadway? I was looking at Elton John Blue Moves as well, but it was like, you know, I don't know these albums well enough. It's really unfair for me to pick them. So, hey, maybe in a future video I'll do some more. But anyway, there we go. It'd be great to see someone leaving there in the comments. Just maybe pick one of the albums, because if you're going to do all 9, your comment's going to be really long. But maybe if you want to pick one of the albums and join in, like The Wall or the White Album, you know, you might want to do Derek and the Dominoes, say, here's my 8, James, what do you think? You know, I'd be really interested to see it. So anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, please subscribe, and please leave a message. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.